Good evening.
Hi everyone, this is Nakshatra from the
Hi.
Sportsman.
Hi. Hello.
And we have Ankit over here. Ankit, can you tell us about yourself? You're a certified trainer, you're a performance enhancement expert. Can you tell us more about yourself and your work?
Okay, so Arvind Yadav is here. Hello. Uh, so good evening, everyone. So my name is Ankit. I'm a strength and conditioning trainer. I have been certified from ACA. Apart from that, I have done my ACSM as a personal trainer, and I've been working with athletes since the last four to 5 years. I've worked with national level boxers, squash players, tennis players, lots of other combat sports like MMA, Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm just happy to be here. So my main goal is to help athletes achieve their goal in their physical preparation. So my
Right.
goal is to make you stronger, faster, more explosive, and reduce your chances of getting injured. So that's my primary purpose. So I'm here to
So,
help you and to answer your questions.
yeah. Okay, so our topic of discussion is strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
So, since you are in this industry for quite some time, you're working with athletes and you know people. So,
Yes.
what do you think in India? Like, what's the scene with respect to awareness related to this thing about strength and conditioning? Does every athlete
Okay.
know it's important to keep yourself strong?
Okay, so I feel like in India the canvas is like it's very different. It's a very different situation because there is rural areas and there are urban, there are
Yeah.
semi-urban areas. So it's different everywhere. But in the cities, I feel it's catching up. You know, places like Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai. I think strength and conditioning is catching up. But at the same time, I feel there is too much emphasis on fitness in some areas, especially in some sports, more than what is required because fitness has become commercialized. Okay, I see 8 years, 9 years, 10-year-old kids doing fitness 3 to 4 times a week, which is actually not required. Okay, kids
Right.
specializing early in sports, and I see like 6, 7-year-old kids having a personal trainer. So that's not really, it doesn't really add value and it doesn't help the kids. So I feel it's a very different situation, but at the same time, when we go to the rural areas where there is a lot of raw talent, they
Mhm.
sometimes the elder kids they were prepared to get under structured strength and conditioning, but there is a lack of expertise over there. So I feel there is a lot of attention that needs to be paid, but at the same time the good part is I see lots of corporate giants coming in and starting their. We have seen Reliance, we have seen JSW. So I've been to JSW center at Bellary, Karnataka. So it's a very good place. So they have kids coming from all over India, and they do their grassroots training program where they get younger kids, and they get them there. They take care of their education. They take care of their A to Z expenses and develop and make them into a better, help them become the best sportsmen they can be. So there are good things happening. So I'm very excited about the coming times, especially now the league system is here. So like 15,
Yeah.
20 years before, we wouldn't imagine kabaddi players being, at this stage where, there are millions, like people are, teams are
With so
spending
much effort.
millions, yeah, over a player. So it's a very exciting time for Indian sports. And I think this is going to continue. So
Yeah.
I personally feel like sports like boxing, badminton. Badminton is already huge. I feel boxing is going to be the next, and I would love it to be the next big thing. So really excited.
Okay, now since you mentioned about kids getting specializing in one sport very early,
Yeah, yeah.
do you think there are sometimes a kid is very good at something and their parents are like, "Beta, teko yahi karna chahiye."
Hmm.
But later they're just junior stars and they just leave the sport, lose interest later.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the right time for a student to decide
Hmm.
that I want to play this sport or I am good at it?
So I don't feel that there is a right time, but like sports specialization, 9 out of 10 times it's not going to go really well. We are not going to have a Sachin Tendulkar or a Virat Kohli or a Sunil Chetri, popping up every other, like, every parent think that their kid, like, if he performs well, every parent think that their kid is going to be the next IPL star or the next ISL star. But that is not the case. When it's come to sports specialization, I feel parents should ease back, and let the process take its time. I feel like maybe when the kid is like 13, 14, that is the time when, the kid realizes that he needs to get really serious, or the coaches, taking the coach's feedback, taking the trainer's feedback, it should take its time. But at the same time, I would like to point out that there are certain sports which require early specialization. Sports like swimming, okay, gymnastics. These are the sports that require early specialization because of the nature of the sport. So there is a place for early specialization, but it comes at a cost. So specialization is all not that bad, as so if a kid, he's really inclined to badminton, what their parents can do is periodize it. Maybe for 2 or 3 months in a year, he takes a break from badminton and he goes to some, maybe he goes for swimming, he does some other, maybe a combat sport, maybe a racket, a different kind of racket sport, so he can unwind and get that. So the next time when he comes back to badminton, he has that hunger. He's not doing it for his parents, he's doing it for himself. So if you so for anyone of you who's curious about this, they can actually Google about long-term athletic development plan. So it's a model of how a kid should be approaching his physical training, and for lifelong participation, not just to make him the best athlete, but so that he himself is motivated and he gets the most benefit out of sports. So you all should Google about long-term athletic development plan model, so you will get a better picture about it. So this is not like, I don't feel like we'll be able to cover. So basically, in short, it's a model where so there are 5 stages in the model. So first is the learning fundamental stage. Okay, a kid grows up, he's 5 6, that is the time he focuses on fundamental. He focuses on jumping, he focuses on running, he focuses on hopping, he focuses on throwing with his right hand, focuses on throwing with his left hand. Okay,
Coordinate.
yeah, striking, coordination skills. So that is a fundamental stage. Then is learn to train. Okay, so at this stage you start giving exposure to the kids to little complex activities, maybe jumping over a hurdle. Yeah, obstacle courses. Kids love obstacle courses. So instead of introducing them to fitness drills, you should introduce them to different kind of games. Okay, so through which they get the benefit of, the kids should get the benefit of fitness through these kind of games. A younger kid, like 5 6 7 8 9 10 years old, they should get the benefit of fitness through all these things. Okay,
Right.
a fit, and if at all you want the kid to be a part of a fitness program, I think 1 or 2 times a week is more than enough. Anything above that, it doesn't make sense, because eventually he's going to burn out because of school and all the other things. It just doesn't go well. So maybe here also we must be having a lot of athletes who would have seen similar scenarios in lots of academies where kids are forced to practice for 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe 1 hour fitness. So it doesn't really go well in the long term. So there are the different stages: learn to train, then there is train to train, then finally there is, if you make it to the elite level, then there is train to win. Okay, after train to win, then there is lifetime dedication to sport. Basically, even if you leave the sports, you are going to stay active in that sport and enjoy the fitness aspect, the mental benefits. So mental benefits, something that is highly underrated, I feel. Parents don't
Right.
understand that if their kid is part of a sports program or a fitness program, it's not just about making it to a certain level or certain ranking. It's also about fun. Fun is the thing why kids join fitness. So that is the crucial aspect. So I feel that is a highly underrated. Yeah,
Got it. So, now suppose there's a person who knows nothing about sports, maybe a
yeah.
teenager, someone 12, 13 years of age, and
Hmm.
he just likes a game. How would you explain to him why is it important for your body to be strong enough so that you last in the game?
Okay, so for a 12 years old, he just enjoys the games. He doesn't really have his big ambitions, and he just wants to have. He's in it for the fun. I won't mind him not doing fitness. Okay, so there will come a time when he will eventually gravitate toward that. Instead, what I would do is I would incorporate basic fitness aspects as a part of the sports practice. Maybe in the warm up, maybe after the sports session, maybe some light strengthening activities, some posture related activities, some games. So you don't really need to. So if I'm working on a for kids, if I'm working with a kid on a fitness aspect, okay, I don't really need to tell him that this is the importance and this is the reason, because they are doing it for the fun. They are not doing it for some scientific this thing, okay, benefit. They are doing it for fun. So end of the day, fun is the name of the game. So for them, just introduce some fun activity, maybe some crawling, some hopping, related fitness based games. So they are going to enjoy it and they are going to get the benefit of it without, you know, us forcing them, or we really don't need to explain them about all these things. That is what I do with kids because I have my program at Bombay Gym and lots of other places. Okay, with athletics, with racket sports athletes. You For kids, you don't really need to tell them about all these things, because they are not. They didn't take up the sport for a certain fame or ranking or anything. They did it for fun. So let's keep it fun. That's all I can
And
say.
what would you say to a young athlete who's in his teens and who wants to make it good? And he doesn't know anything about the importance of keeping yourself fit. He's just playing and he's unaware about this topic entirely.
Yeah.
How would you explain that ये बहुत important है?
Okay. So, for a teenage kid who aspires to be a full-time athlete, or he's already at a decent level and want to further his career, if you are in it for the long term, you need to be fit. Okay. So, if you reach a certain level at the national or international, whatever, it's a good thing. You made it without a structured fitness program. That's a very good thing. Okay, because your base is that much higher. Because you made it without fitness, then the chances of you making it with fitness is much higher. Okay,
Like,
so if I become a national champion without any fitness regime, okay, so if I have a trainer, if I have good recovery, the chances are I will be able to make it much higher. Okay, because maybe the talent, the dedication, and that part is that much more from the athlete side. So that's a good thing. But if you are in it for the long term, you need to take your strength and conditioning, your fitness seriously, because things like injuries, especially during growth spurts, okay, so things like injury can actually put you 2 3 years back, you know. So you need to take your strength and conditioning seriously if you want to compete against athletes who are much better than you. Okay, because if you are not doing something, somebody else is getting better. If you are not getting better, they are getting better just to beat you. Okay, so nobody is going to just say that, you can't say that, okay, I achieved this without fitness, so I can achieve much more without it. Okay, so there is a
that's
reason,
not
like,
right.
there is a reason good level athletes have train with a good strength and conditioning coach or a good sports coach who has a good background in fitness. So it is important, and if it is not important now, you will realize it later. But
Yeah.
so there is
It's
no
needed.
backing away from it. So one way or the other, you're going to you will find it now or you will find it later that fitness is important. So it's up to you. If you're in it, if you're playing the long game, you better be dedicated to your fitness.
Right. Now, how important is sports specific fitness? Like suppose there's a person
Hmm.
who a player and his
Yeah.
coach tells that you should be fitter. So join the gym or just be fitter and he doesn't know how to guide that person.
Okay.
How and what I've seen this athletes really playing professionally go to the gym, listen to what the trainer is saying, whether it is good for him or not, and just blindly follow.
Hmm.
They don't know that different sports demand different things from your body
Yeah.
and you need to be differently prepared for different things. So why is sports specific fitness so important?
So, okay, so I will get to the root of this. Okay, so you are 19, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, 19-year-old badminton player. When did you start badminton?
I started when I was 14, 13 or 14.
Okay, so 13, 14, fine. So, your requirement for fitness when you were 14, okay, and your requirement for fitness now is very different. Okay, so what I'm saying is, not everybody requires sport specific fitness, and I think it's a like hyped up commercial term. Sport specific fitness is a hyped up commercial terms in most cases. Okay, very few. You give me 10 athletes in Mumbai, out of that only one or two people really need sport specific fitness. The rest of them lack basic fitness, basic movement literacy. Okay, so what I'm saying is most sports. Okay, we have tennis, we have badminton, we have squash, we have football, we have hockey, okay, we have basketball. Okay, so if you see most of these sports, they require basic skills. Okay, you need to
Right,
sprint, you need to jump, you need to lunge, you need to strike. Okay, you need
right.
good balance. Okay,
Yeah.
you need good coordination, reaction, anticipation skills, right?
Hmm.
So the thing is, most sports, okay, so maybe field-based sports or court-based sports, okay, they have more
Hmm.
similarities than differences. Okay,
Okay.
so again, I'm
That's a
not
good.
comparing that to a swimming or boxing, maybe combat sports. So combat sports also they have their similarities. There are differences. So if you are a 14-year-old athlete or a 15-year-old athlete or elder athlete just starting out, you need to get your basic level of fitness right. Okay, you need to sprint really well. You need to jump well and land well also. Okay, you need to hop. You need to get all these basic uh, all these fundamental aspect in place before you think about maybe doing some squash or a badminton drills or some sport drills, adding a band to your waist and go hit that shot. Okay, do this, do that, add a band and maybe add a ankle weight at your around your ankles. So it doesn't really make sense. So that is not sport specific fitness. You are just doing mimicry. It's mimicry fitness. So if you are just
Yeah,
mimicking,
the athletes just copying their idol.
yeah, you are just copying. So how is it? How does it require a scientific approach if the only thing you are doing is you are just adding resistance? Okay, if there is a boxer, you're just giving dumbbells in his hand and telling him to punch. How is that sport specific fitness? That is a mimicry session. Okay, so it doesn't really make sense. Sport specific fitness in most cases. Okay, lots of badminton player here. They must be knowing. They must be seeing these things on their badminton courts a lot, right? So where you are doing some sports specific fitness, going around the cone and agility, okay, where you have to touch 10 cones, touch that cone, touch this cone, come back,
Hmm.
back paddle. Okay, so these things, okay, these things are not going to better after a certain point. Okay, if I'm giving you a specific drill in badminton, you are running around and coming back in a certain period of time. Okay, so maybe for a week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, that's all the benefit you're going to get out of it. Okay, to get better, you need to work on other aspects also. So things like anticipation skills, reaction skills. Okay, so these things can be trained with, if he's a younger kid, maybe with games. Okay, maybe with uh, playing other sports. Okay, so you will see a lot of squash players. Okay, uh, training in badminton, boxing, okay, to work on their hand speed. So a lot of
Hmm.
badminton players had asked the question, how can I increase my arm speed? So
Yeah.
you can maybe in your off season you can place a little emphasis on boxing. So why I'm saying boxing, not just taking a racket in your hand and swinging it, because you have already played badminton for years. So if you're not able to get a benefit out of it, your body is not being challenged. Maybe try some other sports, which will
Right.
emphasize those movements. Okay, which will increase that reactivity, that reflexes. Okay,
Hmm.
so these things, don't take up sports, where don't wear the gloves and maybe start sparring or boxing with your friend, okay, where you can get hurt. But you can work on pads and all these things. So I don't think sports specific training is that important. First, get your foundation right. Get your foundation right. Reach a certain level at that given sport, and then think about and sports specific training is not most importantly, it is not adding band and bungee cords around your waist and just running around. So that's not really going to help you. That's you're just mimicking or just simulating. It's a very little there is a benefit to it, but there is very little benefit to it. So you know you need to play. So strength training has its part, okay, agility training has its part, power training has its part, okay, speed strength has its part, flexibility, mobility, everything has its place, okay. So if I have a specific athlete in the off season, I want him to work on a lot of different qualities, okay. I want him to get very strong, okay, powerful, fast, okay, generally, not just specifically, generally also, okay. I want him to work on his weak links, okay. Maybe he has a weak wrist, maybe he has a very wobbly or a very you can say sprain prone ankle, okay. He can
Yeah.
work on his ankle stability, strengthen his ankles, okay, so his ankle doesn't twist. So he can work on all these aspects. You can't just uh, say sports specific. If your trainer or your fitness program is all about mimicking sports, cone drill, ladder drills, especially ladder drills, it's not going
Yeah.
to help you, okay. Ladder drill, agility ladder, what that is what they call them, it doesn't make
Yeah.
you agile. Why? Agility has a lot of aspects, okay. There is change of direction. Change of direction means you moving and changing your direction in different different areas, or what we call basically movement, okay. Then there
Yeah.
is reaction, okay, how fast you react to a particular stimulus. Then there is
Yeah.
anticipation skills, okay.
Yeah.
How do you read your opponent, okay. How do you read his body language, his movements, okay. So
Right.
there are all these aspects to it. So agility ladder, looking down and in and out, in and out, in and out, you're going nowhere, okay. Agility ladder, if you are an 11-year-old, 12-year-old, for fun, for coordination, all these things are, you know it's there is going to be a benefit to it, but that's about it.
Then
You're not going to
yeah.
get any benefit out of it. As same thing for the cone drills, okay. You'll get much more benefit doing some other sports which is not related to your sports than just doing this blindly. Follow a good structured strength training program, get stronger, don't train like a power lifter, okay. Keep your strength training sessions short, work on your overall body strength, okay. Work on your ignored muscles, okay. So maybe your swimmer, okay, they work a lot on their lats. Because of the action, their lats get trained a lot, okay. Maybe if you are uh, a badminton player, there is a lot of lunging on maybe one leg, okay. So
Yeah.
train the
Right.
other leg, okay. We don't want those asymmetries, difference of strength between both the legs. So cover all the aspects, okay. So you get overall stronger. There is no imbalances can lead to injury, so you need to understand that. So
Right.
work on your overall aspect, become a better athlete, okay. The chances of you becoming better at that sport is much higher, okay. Once you reach at a certain level, focus on the specifics first. So if um, if I have a kid who's like 5 6 year olds, he wants to become a doctor, okay, we are not going to give him all the doctor related study books when he's 6 and 7, okay. He's going to study geography, he's going to learn about nature and so many things. Maybe
Yeah.
he's 16 17 18, that is when he's going to work on specifics. So same thing applies for sports.
Right. Now, since you mentioned about improving on our weak skills, ऐसा
Yeah.
बहुत बार होता है कि there are two players जो same
Yeah.
level पे खेलते हैं और
हाँ.
same type का train कर रहे हैं पर उनकी body different है and वो
uh,
ऐसा
hmm.
बाद में रख रहा है कि one is
Can you repeat
performing
your
well and one
question? Can you repeat your question?
suppose there are two players playing at the same level
Yeah.
and they're training the exact same way
They
but
play
their
the
body
exact same way. I'm
I'm
Body?
sorry
Their body
their
what?
body their body is different, their requirements are different.
Hmm.
And that's why maybe even with the same training, they're performing differently. One is
Hmm.
performing better and one is not.
Yeah.
And there are people who just copy each other
Hmm.
and that takes them nowhere. So
Okay.
why is it not important to why is it important to focus more on yourself?
Why is it important? Basically, the training approach should be customized. That is what you're saying? Customized
Yeah,
for your personal need?
yeah,
Of course, like every person, okay, so whether they have similar body types or they are playing similar sports, the need are most of the time, and the weakness or the needs are going to be little different as you get older, okay. So for national, maybe if you are preparing for national and international tournaments, you need to focus a lot on your customization. Maybe you will get the benefit at state level, you get the benefit by working just generally or working in a group. Okay, group workout, maybe a functional training. That is the trend right now, functional training or CrossFit training. You can get a benefit out of CrossFit and all these things. Okay, so, but after that, there will come a point where these things are not going to work. You need to work on yourself. You need to get better if you want to uh, maximize your potential in that sports. If you are
right,
happy with what's happening, you just want to enjoy sports. That is fine. But if you want to maximize, you need to work on yourself. So just look at what the best athletes are doing. Like, you don't need to copy what they're doing, but look at their approach. They sleep well. They take a lot of pride in their nutrition. Okay, their training. So all
yeah,
these things. So, like, just look at their process. You just need to uh, you know add those aspects. Okay, you just don't focus on the result, but look at what the elite athletes are doing. How much importance they are placing on their fitness levels, their nutrition, their sleep. So,
right.
that's all I can say.
Okay. Okay, now contrary to this, is there any specific body part or muscle that you think that is, we get a lot of questions like this, that is important for all athletes, that is something like a base.
Hmm. Body part.
What do
Okay.
you think? हर प्लेयर का ये तो स्ट्रांग होना ही चाहिए,
Okay.
whatever the sport.
So see, uh, so in combat sports, I can say, something like the combat sports athlete, their pain threshold is very high. Okay, they can endure a lot of pain. So that is a common aspect. Okay, uh, common thing that I would say is more than like physical. I can say mental. They're very resilient. Okay. Uh, Physically they are very creative, good athletes, they are very creative. Okay, like when it comes, so in sports, okay, basically what you're presented is problems, so lots of problems. Okay, and you come up with a lot of solutions. You'll see some athletes, they come up with a lot of creative solutions to those problems. Okay, even in very difficult situation, okay, they come up with some unique things that like a lot of times we see, there are some things that go viral, okay, because of something unique a athlete does. Okay, so I find like good athletes, they are very creative. They come up with their own problem
Right,
solving ideas. So that is a unique thing. And generally they are fast. Okay, speed is something that in most sports separates good athletes from people who are not able to make it that well. Speed and their ability to repeat that for a period of time. Okay, so badminton, okay, you sprint, you hit the uh, shuttle, okay, you come back, you recover, you keep repeating that for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So that is a unique uh, quality, and mentally they are very resilient.
right.
Okay,
Very
so
fair,
they
fair.
don't, yeah, so that is something that I see common. I've like across all the sports, not just one sports.
Okay, no, so now we're living in India. It's a developing country. Not everyone has money.
Okay.
And there are a lot of people, like you mentioned, from villages, from rural areas who want to make
uh,
it really big and they are ready to put all the effort. They don't have the information, the resources, the education.
yeah.
But they have that hunger in them कि मुझे करना है.
Uh-huh.
They are not at all aware about the fitness aspects you have put across right.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have they don't have enough money to hire a personal trainer
Mm.
or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, how can an athlete in this situation tackle this situation?
Okay, so I feel
What do
like
you tell an athlete in this situation?
okay, first thing is get your base right. Like, you perform at the state level or national level, juniors, whatever. I think there are organizations which are, as like in the last five,
Motivation.
6 years, lots of organizations that are working towards it. You have JSW, you have Reliance, okay, you
Right.
have like there are lots of I think association and organization who are working on it.
Hmm.
So, and even in future, there are going to be a lot of other organizations who are going to come up with a lot of solutions for these things. So don't be discouraged. Okay, just keep working, keep getting better at your sports. I think because of the internet, I feel this thing can be covered. I strongly feel like, because of YouTube and all these things, there is information which is helpful for sportsmen when it comes to physical
Yeah.
training and other things. So I have like there is one guy, Arun, okay, he's from
Hmm.
Aurangabad. Okay, so you know, uh, so he a lot of times he connects with me. He sees a lot of stuff on YouTube, and like I think he has a medal in state, and he has performed decently at the national level. So there are a lot of athletes. So I read, so quite some time back, I read an article on how one of the athlete learned this thing javelin from YouTube, and then he went to the Olympics and he performed well. So the
That's
reason
really
I'm
amazing.
saying this is, yeah, it's pretty amazing. So the reason I'm saying this is don't give up. So there are a lot of solutions that are going to come up in future. So just keep working. That's all.
Right.
I know it's harder than what I'm saying because I'm living in the comfort of my home and in
Yeah.
Mumbai, so it's easier. But like be optimistic. So it's a tough time.
Yeah. Right. So, is this the reason, like, resources are not easily available except in cities to athletes? Is this the reason, as because Indian athletes are not performing as well as international athletes? In
Uh,
developed countries, USA, Canada, Denmark, um, things are easily accessible. They know more things. It's nearer. So, do you think this is a major reason that India isn't performing that much as
um,
compared?
I think we are doing a lot better than what we were doing before. But
Yeah.
there is a side to it where you say that we don't have enough this and that, but then there is other thing. Do we have enough talent for all the sports? There is a lot of things that needs to be because there are countries who are not very developed, but they are performing well. So it depends on the culture. There is no physical literacy culture in India. So there are a lot of things that needs to be taken care of at the grassroots level. Okay, so like when it comes to job, so I like from what I read and heard, a lot of sportsmen got sacked. Okay, because they were playing cricket and they had a job they had a secure job in some companies. Okay, because of this COVID times, because of the cost cutting, so that they lost their jobs. So this happened in a lot of areas, but there is a lot of things to it. I think it's a like this platform, like there should be a different Instagram live session just to cover this aspect.
Yeah.
So making a blanket statement wouldn't be right. So it's a very complex problem.
Yeah. So you think that's the reason? So okay, now suppose there is an athlete who has the
Yeah,
money. Okay,
yeah.
would you advise him to go abroad and train?
Okay, so there's an athlete who has money. Okay,
And he is ready to, like, he has the resources. He's ready
हाँ
to shell in that much of money. क्या
हाँ.
आप उसको बोलोगे कि तू बाहर जा, वहां पे तेरा ट्रेनिंग बैठ?
Uh, Depends on the sport. So this culture is very common in tennis, okay,
Yeah.
especially in like Delhi, Chennai. So the rich parents, same thing you'll see in South Bombay. Okay,
Right.
sorry, I'm saying this. You are from South Bombay, but you will see a lot of South Bombay parents. 8, 9, 10-year-old kid performs well. They send them to Moratoglu in France, spend 7 lakhs, 8 lakh rupees for a month or two, and they come back. So that's not, if you are not good, it's not going to help you. It's just like sports. That's called sports tourism. Okay, if you're doing well, you're serious. These things may help you. Okay, in fact, all these good organizations who are doing good work in sports, they, in fact, last like couple of months back, before the quarantine, JSW invited uh, like boxers from abroad to train with them. They are boxers, okay. So there is a lot
Yeah.
of exchange of skills. So a lot of good things are happening. But if you feel like parents has have a lot of money and that's going to help, I think in most sports it's not going to help. So you see this commonly in squash and tennis, but there is a bad news. Like you will get good to a certain level, but after that the ship is going to sink. So all the best if that is your approach to it. Like if that is anyone's approach towards it. Like most of us don't have. Most of the athletes are not going to have that much money. But if you have
Correct.
it, all the best. Like the
Correct.
abroad
And
academies are going to make a lot of money from rich Indian parents.
definitely, yeah, it's a total business.
It's a business, yes. And lots of Indian academies also. Like
Yeah.
so, I don't want to get into a rant, but
Hmm.
अब धंधा है क्या कर सकते हैं.
Yeah, I live in the suburbs and my partner
हाँ.
is and I have a lot of friends from South Bombay and into different sports and
Yeah.
they're like यार मैं तो बाहर जाके आया पर मेरा तो कुछ फायदा ही नहीं. So it's ultimately
हाँ.
on you,
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah, like uh, you are right. Like not everybody is going to get a benefit of it. So I will tell you just a second. Huh? So I will tell you one thing. So there were kids from South Bombay that I know who went there. Okay, spent a lot of money and got injured. Why? Because they were not ready to endure that much training. Okay, they are training here for 2 hours a day. Then they go to France or some US, maybe American country, and
Hmm.
then they go there and train for 5 hours, and they are not able to do it for over a week. They get injured, they get mentally exhausted, so it doesn't really help. These are all commercial places. If you're sending them to develop, they are good at a certain level, they themselves are driven and they want to push it. Okay,
Hmm.
keep the current coach who is doing a good job in the loop. Okay, through him, you know or maybe consulting someone who is really good at his job before sending. Just don't blindly, just because you see that academy on Instagram or on YouTube or on Facebook
Hmm.
doing some fancy drills, don't send your kid to abroad and spend money. Most of the like parents know that this is going to be a waste of time, waste of money, and waste of precious training time. Or
Right.
so a lot of times I see athletes getting injured, because they get overworked. They're underprepared. They're underprepared for such kind of training. So,
Right.
so we need to be very careful before, taking such a move.
Hmm. Okay. So let's get to the questions. Our audience has questions for you.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
first one is there are a lot of questions from badminton, so we can cover
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah. Ah.
So one is from how to improve arm strength.
Okay. Badminton player, right?
Yeah,
So, any details about her, like age or experience or anything?
she's a teenager. That's what we
Okay.
could get to.
Okay, she's a teenager. Good. Okay. So, arm strength, right? Arm speed or arm strength?
Arm strength.
Arm strength. Okay. So this period is really important for her to work on her overall body strength. Okay, not just arm, but overall body strength, overall maybe upper body strength. Okay, so if you are a teenager, you can't do a single pull up, you can't do a proper push up. So try to work on those aspects. Okay, try to get stronger in pushing, pulling exercises. Okay, you can use a TRX. So push-ups, handstands. So all these body-weighted exercises are important. If you are in your early teens, get your body stronger with body-weighted exercises. Okay,
Right.
lots of body-weighted movements, crawling movements. All these exercises are going to make your upper body strong. Another thing that you can do is add in medicine balls. Okay, medicine balls are not just going to make your upper body strong, but also reflexive. So you want to be strong, but at the same time, you don't want to lose speed in badminton, right? You don't want to lose your arm speed. So
Yeah.
medicine ball, body weighted, on a like get 5 pull-ups, get nice 15, 20 push-ups. Then think about maybe a little bit of adding a little bit of strength training, like 2 to 3 days of fitness training for your upper and your lower body with added
That's it.
medicine balls that can, that is going to benefit you a lot, I feel. So
Okay.
go slow, build that strength. Okay, your off season, especially this period, is a crucial one for you to maximize your uh, strength level, overall strength level. So
Right.
take maximum benefit of this.
Okay. Now next is from Saurabh. How to improve my explosive?
Explosive strength.
Yeah, he do the badminton play.
He's a badminton player. Okay, so were you able to get any details about him? Uh,
Yeah, he's also a teenager. Maybe in his late teens, like maybe
Experienced player.
not much.
Okay, so Saurabh, if you're already strong, okay, you can do 15-20 push-ups, you can do nice 5 pull-ups, okay, you have body weighted strength, you are good at your sports. What you can do is you can start strength training. You can start lifting weights, okay, so focusing on basic movements like squats, deadlifts, your dumbbell pressing, your pull-up, rowing. So all these movements just to get your full body strength. Once you are done, along with that, I would advise you to focus on a lot of jumping based exercises. Okay, so what we call plyometrics. Okay, so quicker jumps are called plyometrics. If you're doing it slow, it's just a jump, nothing else. So hopping, bounding exercises. So these movements are going to make sure you're not just getting strong, you are quick on your feet, and medicine ball is going to make sure that your arm speed is in its place. So lots of rotational medicine ball throw, overhead medicine ball throw, maybe medicine ball punches, so you can add these
Yeah.
aspects 2 times a week, medicine balls. So with medicine balls, with jumps, you need to rest a lot. So don't overdo these things, medicine balls and jumps. 3 times a week of strength, 2 times of jump based exercises and medicine ball exercises are going to help you a lot. So work on these things. Once these things are there, it is going to, eventually translate to better like more explosiveness at your sport at badminton. So I'm sure this is going to help you. At the same time, make sure you're not overdoing cardio, you're not overdoing endurance, you're not overtraining. You eat well, you sleep well. So that is where your body recovers and you get better. So train hard, recover harder. So train smart, not just
Okay.
hard.
So yeah. So the next question is from Parvati. She too is a badminton player. She's around 13 to 16 age. That's what I can guess from
Okay.
her. And she's asking how to increase my wrist power and speed.
Wrist power and speed. Okay, so what you can do is speed. I don't like speed. I feel when it comes to speed, what you train in badminton, okay, that's enough to help you with the speed aspect. But for strength, okay, at your age, you're a girl, so girl find it very difficult when it comes to body weighted exercises like push-ups and pull-ups. So you can start strength training. Okay, so something like pull-up where you're holding your body weight with both of your arms. It's going to challenge your wrist a lot. Okay, so incorporate pull-ups 2 to 3 times a week. Use assisted pull-ups. You can YouTube about band assisted pull-ups. Okay,
Yeah.
YouTube about inverted rows, how to do inverted rows. You can use these exercises to develop strong wrist. Okay, so apart from that, you can do grip-based exercises. Okay, so there are some equipment that can help you with your grip. Okay, so your grip, stronger grip, you're going to get stronger arm, your wrist. Okay, so that's going to help you. If you have kettlebell at your gym or your academy, you can do bottoms up kettlebell carry. Take the kettlebell bottom up, okay, and just walk. Okay, you can do farmer's carry. Take a heavy dumbbell, hold in both the hands, and maybe walk for like 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You can do this 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, so this is going to help you get a stronger wrist, and make sure that you do some mobility and flexibility for your wrist so you don't lose the movement. It shouldn't happen that you just get strong and you lose flexibility, so that will cost you. So work on the overall aspect with kettlebell. So there is gaurang Amdekar, who's one of our coaches. Okay, he's a part of Athlete First, so he's expert in kettlebell. So even he's commenting for strong grip at kettlebell for strong grip. So that is going to help you. So you can anybody who wants to get a stronger wrist, you can work with kettlebells, body weighted exercises first. Okay, before doing anything specific or worrying about specific badminton related or your sport related work.
So the next question is how to improve your endurance and stamina. Now this is his name is Nihar. He is I think 15 between 15 to 18
Hmm.
and badminton.
Badminton player Nihar, right? Okay. So he's 15 to 18-year old.
Yeah,
Okay, strength and endurance or only endurance.
he mentioned stamina and endurance.
Stamina, okay, stamina and endurance. So, Niyar, what you can do is start working on your endurance right away. So, this is a good time for you to, because the lot of places, sports practices are off. So, this is a time to, you know, train endurance 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, so create a good endurance base. Maybe use tempo runs. Okay, use things like tempo runs. First, maybe you can create a 8 week cycle to build up your endurance. So first for the first 3 to 4 weeks, work on just steady state cardio or tempo runs or uh, MS. So you can Google about maximum aerobic speed or just YouTube about maximum aerobic speed. You will get the information. So once for 3 4 weeks you build your general endurance and stamina. Then that after that period you should focus a little bit on involving specific aspect. Okay, like change of direction aspect. Doing some on court based endurance work. So for 3 to 4 weeks, work on general endurance and stamina, and after that you can work on your specific endurance aspect. And if you want to improve your muscle endurance, if you feel your legs get tired, your hands get tired, so you can start with strength training. Okay, if you're still there's a long way to go for your competition, you can include things like battle ropes to get your arms muscular, good endurance at your arms, your shoulders. So battle ropes can be used, medicine balls for power. So lot of things that can be included, but it's like pretty basic. So this is a very like valuable time. So you make sure that you start as early as possible. Don't take a time off. If you are totally deconditioned, start slow and slowly build it up. Okay, don't go hard in the first week or second week. Slowly build it up. Increment of not more than 15%. That's very important. Okay, so if you're working out for if you're training for 3 hours, next week it shouldn't be 6 hours of intense training. Slowly
Hmm.
build it up. Okay, train hard, train smart, and recover properly. Have a good nutrition plan in place and progress slowly. Okay, don't focus on ton of activities. For stamina, 2 to 3 times a week, more than enough for your sports. So once you start with your sports, you're going to get your stamina and endurance from the sport itself. You don't have to train it separately. Then you can focus on strength, power, speed, and all these aspects. Okay, because you're going to get your endurance from your sports. The practices session lasts for 1 2 3 hours. So that's the thing.
Okay, so since you mentioned about this, there's Dharmesh. He's a taekwondo player,
Yeah.
and he stopped playing 10 months ago, and he wants to get back in the game. So
Okay.
he's asking how long will it take to regain my stamina and game. So it's a very vague question.
Okay. So 10 month is a lot of period. Okay. First thing. Okay. Mm, that's a lot of period. So he took a very big break. Okay. So his body must be totally deconditioned. So first thing that I would advise him is build up your endurance. Okay, build up your endurance so you can actually last for long fitness sessions or your training sessions. Okay, so if you don't have endurance to last for if you start your sports practice, okay, and if you can't make it to those technical drills for an hour or like 30 minutes, okay, you're going to have a really bad time getting back to it. So first work on your endurance. Okay, get in shape, get in decent shape. If you play in, if your fighting weight is maybe 80 kg and you're 90 to 93 kg right now, at least get to 85. So gain
Yeah.
a decent level of fitness before you get back to your sports and go hard. So we have Nihar here. Thanks a lot, sir. Was equally okay. So build a base first. Okay, work on the technical aspect of taekwondo. Get good technically. Do things slowly. Don't use explosive drills. Okay, don't go for contact drills. Okay, work on the technical aspects. If you have been playing taekwondo for 6 7 years, you'll get the skills back maybe in like 3 4 5 months. Okay, if you are playing it for 2 3 years, you may take a longer time because of muscle memory. So muscle memory for combat sports, muscle memory matters a lot. If that taekwondo player he has taken a 10 month break, he need to build it up slowly. Focus on the technical aspect. Build a good endurance and stamina so he can actually last for the practice session. Okay, get a basic level of fitness right, then focus on specific fitness. Okay, so it should be a built up of like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Okay, don't go fast, focus on getting your flow. Okay, make sure, so there is a high chances of injury if you've taken a ten month break and you go really hard. The chances of injury is really high. So go slow, build it up. Okay, don't go for contact sparring. Okay, that's going to that may put you in trouble. So that's all the best. Like, and for all the athletes, to avoid such big breaks. Okay, train in one form or the other. Okay, maybe focus on physical. Even if, like, a lot of sports, they can use shadowing and all these aspects just to keep the technical aspect going, but avoid such big breaks. Okay, and those who train really hard, what I would advise them is, take a deload week after every 5 or 6 weeks. Okay, if you train hard for 5 weeks, the sixth week will be deload. Deload means either you drop the intensity or you drop the volume. Maybe if you are training for 6 hours, train for 4 or 5 hours. Okay, or drop the intensity of the drills or the fitness session or your sports session. Drop the intensity. So what happens is, mentally and physically you are fresher when you come back. Okay, so deload is very important for all the athletes to remain injury free, and especially in such a period where you have been away from your sports, build it up slowly. See, if you're in the long game, it's going to help you a lot. Okay, especially when it comes to injury and your long term goal. Don't go hard as soon as sports practices begin, competitions begin. Don't go hard. Play the long game.
During the season.
Yeah. So we have Bhushan here. How to deal with wrist pain? Please give some details about your wrist pain, Bhushan. Hi, Bhushan. So
Okay.
next question.
Yeah, till he answers. This is from two people. One is Sanvik and one has a username being Sprinter. So I'm
Hmm.
assuming he's a sprinter.
Yeah.
How to increase hamstring strength?
Hamstring strength for sprinter. Very interesting. Nice question. So, yeah, sprinters suffer a lot of hamstring strains. Okay, and they rely a lot on hamstring strength. So that is understood. So, if you're a 200 meter or a 100 meter sprinter, okay, so work a lot on your eccentric strength of the hamstrings. So when I say eccentric strength, what I mean is ability to absorb force. Okay, so go on YouTube, search about Nordic curls, search about eccentric hamstring exercises. Okay, not just deadlifting. Deadlifting is not going to help you. Okay, the force that your lower body generates during sprinting is much higher than the force you generate when you lift 300 400 kg. Okay, because
Right.
you are hitting the good level sprinter hits the ground really hard. Okay, harder than what you need for lifting weights. So don't
Yeah.
just focus on lifting weights. Lifting weights may help you if you're a state or a basic level athlete. If you're national, above that, okay, if you reach a certain level of strength, after that strength, just lifting weights is not going to help you. Okay, work on your eccentric strength, get your form right. Okay, first work on your technical aspect, get your sprinting form refined. Okay, and once you go back to your sports right now, slowly build it up. Okay, maybe you can start with incline sprints. Okay, so that is more friendly on your hamstrings. So go with incline sprints. At the same time, train the hamstrings in the gym. Okay, train your glutes, train your hamstrings. Okay, there are a lot of, so just Google about eccentric strength. Okay, how to get eccentric and isometrics. Okay, So isometric strength. So just Google about these two things. If you don't get anything there, or if you're confused, you can always message me at Athlete First Performance or Ankit Tivrekar. I have my Instagram, my personal Instagram account, or on Athlete First. Up to you.
So, okay, this was very helpful. And
Yeah.
this was the last question. So, thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. It was great to have you. A lot of
Yeah.
my own doubts were also clear. And I'm sure the answers that you've given, it is very satisfying for all the athletes, especially after you mentioned their name. So, it
Yeah.
was a very knowledgeable session. And just keep spreading all the knowledge, it helps a lot. And I hope we can work together in some way in the future to help
Yeah.
sports in
So
India.
we have a MMA fighter, Bala Krishna. So he's a international fighter, and he
Yeah.
recently started training with me. So he's here. So great to have a lot of brawl combat. So we have a lot of people, familiar faces.
Okay,
Hope
so
it
this
helped everyone.
yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I think it was
Thank you.
very educational for any athlete who was watching.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this session will be played as IGTV on our page as well as yours, and also on your YouTube channel.
yeah.
And yeah,
Thank you so much.
so
All the best for your team. You all are doing a really good job. Uh, so I think you missed one of the questions. We have Achal Mishra.
yeah, about
That's
the
not fair. See, he's here. He's here just before the session, and he's here. He's asking, why didn't you ask my
bowling
question?
bowling drills for knee dominant sling. I think you can answer that.
So can you ask the complete question? He has a very big question, I think.
So can you suggest drills for knee dominant slinger, and
Uh-huh.
how many days should I train that area in a week?
Okay, so Achal Mishra, I know him because he had personally messaged me. So he's a knee dominant bowler. He relies a lot on muscle strength. Okay, so what's a knee dominant bowler for people who are listening? Okay, so when you land on your back foot, bowling foot, your knee bends a lot. So you are a knee dominant bowler. You rely a lot on muscular strength. So for Achal, I can't really so you really land heavy on your back foot. So what I would recommend you is do a lot of assisted sprints. What are assisted sprints? Where you actually tying the bungee on the front side and somebody is actually assisting you while you are running. So do a lot of assisted bowling. You can YouTube about assisted bowling so you get a little faster on your back foot. Another thing that I would recommend you is uh, work on your leg stiffness. Stiffness means so whenever you land on the back foot, your heel collapses and your heel touches the ground. So we don't want that to happen. So you need to work a lot on plyometric based exercises, lot of jumping based exercises. And before you start bowling, pre-tension your ankles. Pre-tensioning means doing a lot of jumping based exercises where there is a lot of reactivity and reflexiveness at your ankle joint, so when you land on the back foot, your foot doesn't crumble. So two takeaways for you. So first thing is assisted running or assisted bowling, and working on plyometrics. Okay, so work on these two things, you will get better at it. So that's all I can say. I can't give you specific technical drills because I don't really know about you in depth. So sorry for that.
Okay, so that's your answer, Amit.
So that's fair.
So all of them are answered.
You don't
And
like cricket. I guess you don't like cricket, so you just missed his.
no, it just
A lot of
the way
sportsmen have a grudge against cricket
no, no, there's no
for the
grudge,
unfair limelight.
there's no
Okay,
grudge. Okay,
so
so I
that's
think
it.
we're coming to the
Yeah,
end. And
yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we
Welcome.
enjoyed it. It was a very great session. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
all the best.
Okay,
Bye.
all the best.
Thank you everyone for joining in.
Okay, take care. Bye.